You have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole. And Ellendale, thank you so much for your Patreon membership request. You are bringing back down some Lord of the Lost for the Losteists and the Chronicans. Thank you so much for this. The song today is called noituLOVEr. And if you look at it backwards, that says revolution.
Thank you so much, Ellendale, for bringing Lord of the Lost back down the rabbit hole. I can't wait to get into this one.
Ellendale, thank you so much again for giving us a little bit of context and for letting me know it said revolution backwards there. I wouldn't have seen that, so thank you for that. So, part of your notes here. One thing you know for sure when it comes to Lord of the Lost and yourself is that we are all standing for change in a broken and bleeding world full of inequality and injustice. And noituLOVEr is the epitome of the most direct expression of this mindset. Some people who don't accept the freedom and equality of love without any valid reason would call this song political. I just call it human and a matter of common sense. And I'm sure Lord of the Lost would approve because the heartfelt message of these inclusive and embracing lyrics is a matter of the heart for all of us.
Wow, sounds very deep. I'm really excited to get into noituLOVEr or Revolution and see what this song is all about and how Lord of the Lost presents these lyrics. Ellendale, thank you so much for bringing Lord of the Lost back down the rabbit hole. I can't wait to see what Lord of the Lost has to say about their love revolution in this video. This is the official lyric video. If you guys are as excited to be here as we are, remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more Enter the Chronicness.
I know I have my own idea of love revolution. I always tell people, work for love, not for money, and you'll see the difference, and you know that when you have a home-cooked meal instead of something you buy. All right, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. Full rainbow.
Full rainbow.
You see the light of the day, but this place was not your choice. You grow up, hope for the best,
Yeah.
but clearly you can't have the voice. They shut you up, they keep you down, and say you never should have been born. You are a freak, a mistake of God, and everything you feel is wrong, but love is never wrong. You're lovable, touchable, beautiful, you're perfect. It's time to stand up and fight. We need no absolution for a new constitution, for a love revolution. Come break free.
Catchy.
Eternally fight for love, for your love. You go through heaven and hell.
I just want to say it's interesting having this lyric video version of this. I was expecting to see them when I heard like music video, and I misheard it. So it's actually kind of nice to be able to really fully hear what they're saying. And yeah, like love, there is a spectrum of love. I think everyone can admit they do have a cap to that though, and I think that's where some people might think this one is too political, like you were saying, Ellendale. A lot of people could take this politically. I understand what y'all are saying, that there's no mistakes. Like when you're born here, you weren't asked to be here, and all of us feel insignificant in our bodies in certain ways that way. So we all kind of experience that and wish that you could express how you want to feel, and I completely understand that want for that ability, because even when I tried to go, say, just to a Christian community, I had everyone tell me not to do that as well, but that was my forming of loving at the time, and I was getting shunned for that too, so I can understand.
Absolutely. I don't have much to say, I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll just keep going then.
For your love, you go through heaven and hell.
love is not just a 4-letter word. Love is a verb and it's an action.
Yeah,
It's not just a word.
absolutely.
So I just needed to say that. It's not just a word.
And that's what he was saying. It's not just a word.
Good. Because I definitely heard the lyric.
Yeah, so I just...
It's just a word.
Place that's almost work. Well, love is really just a 4-letter word.
So he's saying you don't want to be there.
I feel I've never ever found my place. I never really knew where I belong. And even rainbows seem to miss my color. Maybe I am more than just one. I am lovable, touchable, beautiful. I'm perfect. We won't ever turn back time. We need no fake solutions, no divine institutions, just a love revolution.
That very catchy, I must admit.
Eternally fight for love, for your love. We're lovable, touchable, beautiful. We're lovable, touchable, beautiful. We're perfect. It's time to stand up with pride. Don't need to get a contribution. We're no mistake of evolution. This is a love revolution. Come break free. Eternally fight for love. It's time to fucking make things right.
Nice.
You think a low resolution? There's no substitution. You need a love revolution too. 'Cause even you want to be loved just the way you are.
I like how they flipped it there and still have the love flipped. Lord of the Lost, of the Losties. How you doing, honey? Yeah? Anything on your mind? You want me to start?
Yes, please.
So I think y'all know we always say God bless at the end, and part of what I think is a little what we want to say here, we don't want to just cross any boundaries, because like you said, Allendale, this could be taken politically. We're going to not take this politically. I'm going to bring up something that I think will bring up something. It's like Lord of the Lost, Lord of the Losties. We're just explaining whether this was we were created or say this is just evolution. We're not a mistake of evolution is actually something Lord of the Lost said here. We just went to the zoo and we're in an enclosure of penguins. One of the penguins, only one of them, comes up to every single person and wants to play with them. Therefore, acting out of norm from the original group that are all chilling. Everyone, all the humans that are in this penguin enclosure have rules to how these penguins are supposed to interact with people. So in a way, society is a bit of that, where there's that one penguin that wants to bite on people's fingers, where everyone else is kind of just sitting there. And that's where I'm taking this from, because regardless of how we got here, we're supposed to act a certain way. We're supposed to drive on a certain lane. And there's ways that you're supposed to be as a person. And I do think there's different ways of love. My form of loving is different from everyone. Like, I look at people in the eyes very intently when having conversations. Some people find that offensive, actually, where I find it offensive when you don't look at my eyes. So that's kind of where I'm coming from, the music was catchy. That chorus was actually very catchy too. I think it's just hitting the heartstrings a lot because we've had, I think there is a limit. I'll be the first one to say this because everyone's beautiful, touchable, lovable. Okay, well, let's put this onto you're attracted to little kids. I'll say it right up. And I think a lot of people would say there's a limit to that. And that's all we're saying on our side is that there's probably a limit to love.
I think there's a huge difference between love and lust. And I think that's where a lot of things are being conflicted or even put it to, or even I can't remember the word, but it's on the tip of my tongue, but put together meaning the same thing.
Yeah.
Like
amalgamated them together,
the difference of love and lust. And you can lust over many things. You can have those perversions that you feel, but that doesn't make it love. Everyone is lovable, but in like the English language specifically, we have one word for love. Like I love Kyle and I love my lamp.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I love to say that.
So there's a difference in understanding what love is. I do believe that there should be a love revolution and people should start learning what love is within one another and what true and real love is and the difference between love and lust and love and envy and love and greed, because a lot of people, because they haven't felt or know what correct love is, I pause this to say, no, it's not just a word, it's an action. Love is an action. This is something that you need to take action of. So, for example, when Kyle and I first met, we didn't love each other right off the bat. It isn't a Disney movie. It isn't love at first sight. It's love at first action. What was the thing that caused me to then want to put more effort into the action of love with Kyle? What was the action that happened that caused Kyle to want to put more love into the action of me as his partner? There is like, yes, you have love of a child, but there's also an action to that. I gave birth to my child. That is
through a lot.
I went through
Almost
9 months. I almost died giving birth to my child. That is an action. And I love my child and I gave action to show that I loved my child. And then I continued to put action instead of neglect to show that I loved my child.
Yeah.
So even though there is that unconditional aspect of it, but there's also an action towards that, because you can't be unconditional without action.
Yeah.
Because unconditional without action is neglect.
And there's always a line that people can cross.
And there's always a line. And I think that what's happening in the world for me is that everyone is neglecting everyone else. Like walking down the street, use this as an example. 20 years ago, walking down the street, you could see couples like laughing and giggling together. You could see kind of that PDA, even if it wasn't like groping or things like that. But there were public displays of affection happening between couples, happening in the streets, between strangers, things like that. Now there's nothing. It's actually really difficult to tell if someone is a partner with someone or if they're a brother or just a friend or what's going on, because love has turned into I love lamp instead of I love you.
That's fair.
And that's kind of what I'm seeing. And that's where think that this love revolution needs to be more than just the rainbow. And I really like what he said about like, there's this rainbow, but I don't even feel like it fits my color.
Exactly. We can't box the complexity of human beings. The most intricate thing in the entire universe is your own brain, and the differences between everyone else's brains are more intricate than the full universe. So obviously a rainbow can't box you in. And that's why my love revolution was volunteering. Because everyone needs stuff done. We get that. You need food. You need all these things. You need love. So, let's volunteer our time. Because that's the best way, I think, for a love revolution to happen is for everyone just to start volunteering and helping each other out. Not trying to box people in. Help them get to that other box that you maybe don't want to be a part of, but help them on their way. Let's not hurt each other here. But there is a limit. Yes. When he's saying there's blurry lines, it's like, and I think the blurry lines is forgetting that everyone does have a limit, though those limits are different for how people interpret them. But we have a hard time giving people what their limit is and then saying it's only okay for our limit. And that's always where I think a lot of the world falls into hypocrisy, and we all just pat our own clubs back instead of being able to find a way to all exist together, which is what you're trying to say with this love revolution. I love the way that you mix these words together to make a different word, and that when you flipped it, you could see it as revolution, but then now love is flipped. So like it's such an inside out reverse thing as an artistic endeavor.
I think that an artistic endeavor really does prove the point of how everything about love has been turned on its head.
Yeah, it sure has.
Absolutely everything
Inside
about love
out.
has been turned on its head. Someone who I really like is Jeffree Star.
Oh.
And the reason I'm going to bring that person up, Jeffree Star, is he is the most flamboyant, colorful, tattooed, mysterious individual in the world. And he's very polarizing.
Right.
I love Jeffree Star because Jeffree Star is like, I am who I am. I know who I am. But I don't care how I dress or how I look or how I present myself because there's no color in the rainbow that represents me.
Absolutely.
And I'm just going to be who I am, and I'm going to go on no matter. I don't care what talk show it is. I don't care what podcast it is. I'm going to sit here and I'm just going to enjoy things.
I hate getting boxed in as well.
Absolutely.
I completely respect that. And then you get tied into what other bad examples of in that box. And it's like, no, like even though I want to be a part of that, I'm not the negative things on that. Like I'm my own person too.
Yeah.
And we all gravitate to different things. And that's why it's beautiful. That's why we have different colors, different flowers. Like I completely understand that our own apprehension, whether it's true or wrong, is we do think there are some limits to things as well.
I believe in a binary.
Right on. And
100%.
And there you go. And that's why we still respect all of you, because you know what we're about and you never make us feel bad for it too. And you show us the love. And I really appreciate that. So thank you so much, Lord of the Lost. And Chris, you sounded amazing on this as well. I really like the lyric video to be able to really follow what you're saying this time, because you are always trying to say some powerful stuff that's bringing a lot of conversation there. Ellendale, thank you so much for this request again. We love you so much. Chronic Kids, hope you had a good time with us too. But we are now exiting the rabbit hole, folks.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. I hope you enjoyed this video and this open conversation that we had after the video. Remember that your love revolution does matter, and to make sure that you're having fun with it and doing what you need to do to change the world to what you want the world to be. Peace and love, everyone.
God bless y'all.
Take care, and bye for now.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Enter the Chronicness.
Special thanks to all of our YouTube, Patreon, and Buy Me a Coffee members. Thank you for all of your support.
Thank you all so much for making it all the way to the end of the video. If you had a good time and you are new to the channel and you don't want to miss the next one, here is a very easy way that you can make it to our next one by hitting the subscribe button. If you liked what you heard on this video and you want to support this artist, then an easy way to do that is going right here. And I think we have a really good video for you right here that we think you will enjoy. Thank you all so much. See you next time.